So this is just a picture of where we cooked in the camper last night, which we don't usually do. And then this is the Astoria Megler Bridge. We have yet to drive over it. We were on our way to the Astoria Column, and these little images were on the streets there,
kind of marking the road direction.
pointing you in the right direction. Yeah,
And that's a pretty neat column. They got a lot of
images.
images on the side of it.
Yep,
It was 163 steps from the
164.
bottom, 64 to the bottom to the top and down.
Yep.
Kind of like being in a lighthouse, but it wasn't really a lighthouse.
It was not a lighthouse, no. It was just a column commemorating like the Oregon stories and Oregon's history.
Kind of like a history marker.
Yeah.
You could see for a long ways up there.
Yeah.
I should have estimated how far that was. But that's the parking lot.
Yeah. This is all from the top of the column.
Had a couple of freighters out there, and the Coast Guard is up here thick. They had 3 Coast Guard boats and 2 helicopters.
And 2 patrols, yeah.
And I was wondering, and they said that they, it's because out of foreign countries are in those ship boats, cargo boats, freighters.
This is just a panoramic view from the lighthouse. I walked all the way around. I'm sorry, not the lighthouse, the column, just to get the view, because it was really, really pretty. You had water on most sides and mountains, and the clouds were dramatic, and it was just pretty. There's a little town.
It's a cute little town.
Yeah, and down where you see those white buildings is kind of where the Maritime Museum is, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Right there in front of you, I believe, that curved roof.
Maybe, yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that was zooming in on a Coast Guard boat there. He sat there the whole time. Just doing his job.
Yep. And then that's the top view of down on the parking lot with Scooter. And closer up on Scooter, and you get one more. There you go.
The van.
That's the solar panels and the vent and the radio.
And this is the candy flower. We saw those in the redwoods too. And then we went to the cathedral tree. We hiked it, was about a mile in, mile out.
We've got to listen to these birds. Just listen. And then we found what they call the cathedral tree. And, we've come from the redwoods, so that was a pretty small cathedral tree.
We weren't very impressed.
Yep, Jen stood there. We should have seen this first.
Yeah. And this is a little flower that I actually want to put in and find out what it is. It's a shiny little flower. And this is just another view.
What was the Indian tribe here?
The Chinooks, I think.
Chinooks. This is made by them and put up there, I guess, as also the historical marker.
Yeah.
Again, it's just some more of the scenery around the place.
Yeah.
And
it's a pretty good shot of the column.
And then Jen gets a close-up of it. Yeah. I think it's the next one after this.
Get it because I was so impressed with the detail on the column. I mean, this thing was put up in the early 1900s.
That's it. Well, yeah, it looks like it was painted on there, like a printer printed or something. Yeah. And that's us having lunch in a windy day.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Then we went down to the Maritime Museum in Astoria and got to go tour through it. And what it is there's a channel. There's an opening to the channel, or the river comes down to a little opening, and then it goes into the ocean. Well, that opening is like 140 shipwrecks in that little area.
Right, because there's a sandbar.
And it keeps moving. And they got a history. I should have took a picture of that wall that had all those on there. But they actually have, the Coast Guard will guide you in and out of that channel because it's so dangerous. And they said they'll have what, 5 or 6 shipwrecks a year.
Yeah.
There still,
Minimum.
even with that.
Yeah.
Some people think they can go without the Coast Guard guiding them.
Yep. There's my Coast Guard boat. I have a deep-rooted love for the Coast Guard.
And this is one of the old-time decommissioned Coast Guard boats we got the tour inside of.
Yep.
We didn't really take any pictures inside, did we?
We did not. But the boat next to it was a cutter, and it was in commission. The Florence Finch, I think, is what it was called. And they were working on it, and it was just sitting there. But it was pretty cool. And I didn't realize Astoria is an official Coast Guard city. I'd never even heard of that.
And then this is our campground for the night. You can barely see us through that thick bush, but we're right there, wide open space, good and level. And we're in a state park, and we've already went down to the beach on our bikes, and we have found the shipwreck.
Yep.
You know what shipwreck it was?
Peter Iredale.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. We'll have to get you some history on it.
Maybe tomorrow we'll catch up on it.
Yeah, but that's
there it is, kind of at a distance, and you get a close-up of it.
Yeah, what's left of it. I mean, that was a big ship.
Yeah.
And I think it crashed in the 1900s.
And then we had supper, and we're doing our video, and we're done for the day. If you enjoyed our video, please select the subscribe and the like button below. To get to our next video, select one of the tabs. Comments are always welcome.